So by now you probably noticed that I am wearing a lav mic here on my shirt. This is making my V-neck a much deeper V than I would like. If there's anything that you take away from these videos, it's that audio is so much more important to your videos looking passable, professional, whatever, than video is. People will forgive bad video any day of the week before they'll forgive bad audio. So right now in a situation like this where I'm here behind a table talking to a camera, it's a pretty controlled environment right now. There are two options that I could use. There is the lav mic, which is what I'm using, like I said, right here, or the other option I could use is a mic that attaches to the top of a camera, an external mini shotgun mic. I use the Rode Video Micro, and this is what it looks like. This little fuzzy thing on top right here, this isn't necessarily needed when you're indoors. These are solely when you're outside. It protects from wind, so you don't get that wind sound. But if you're just inside, you don't need that. So this would be the alternative to using the lav mic. The reason I'm not using this right now is because the general rule with doing audio is that you want your mic to be as close to the audio source, so in this case my mouth when I'm talking, as possible. A lav mic you could get, usually they're not that expensive. I think like $30 to $50 for a lav mic. A little tool like this you can get for like $60 to $100. These are much more dynamic though. So like this, I have the mic clipped here, my collar, and then this runs down under the table into the side of the phone here. The alternative to that would be, let's say we have a situation where you're a speaker, you're speaking at an event and you can't have obviously a wire trailing from the camera that's filming you, to you. In that case, what you could pick up is you could either use an old iPhone or an old any kind of phone, so like a smartphone, and it has a video recorder app, which some are free, some you have to pay like $5 for, but in any case, you could use that. What I do is I would clip it to my collar like so, and then I'd run the line to either an audio recording device like this, which is an H1 Zoom. I believe these are about $100. Take a look at that guy right there. Its sole purpose is to record audio onto a micro SD card, and then you have to sync everything later. But what you would do, whether it be the Zoom or an iPhone, is you take it, plug it into the bottom of them, stick it in your back pocket, and then it's just completely separate from the video that's recording. I'm sure you've seen when you've seen behind the scenes of movies making, a lot of times they have the clapper, the slate. The reason people do that is so the people syncing the audio and the video have a finite place where you can visually see it, and then also audio, it makes a big spike. So you know where to line the two up to make everything, not sound warped and delayed. So if you're gonna do that, you're gonna have to find a creative way to mimic that. A lot of times people do a little, if you can do that, I prefer you do that, because most of the time it's gonna be us at ZenChange editing the video, and it makes it a lot easier. Because the phone will also be recording audio at the same time as you're talking into the mic and it's recording it, we can do it without that, because obviously I have the two identical audio sources and I could just line them up over one another, but that's not as quite precise as the other way around. So if you can, please try some way to do it. It makes it a lot less awkward. I used to do it sometimes when I would do speaking things, just announce to everyone, hey, I have a videographer over there, so for the benefit of syncing audio and video, I need to clap my hands to sync it in post, and then go into, your spiel. So yeah, that covers the lav mic. One thing that I need to emphasize when using a lav mic is that you want it pointing up towards your mouth when you're talking, and again, you want it a little more than a fist away from your mouth as you're talking. The lav mic does absolutely no good if it's beneath your shirt. If it's under your shirt, you get rustling around as you're moving. If it's in your lap, pointing away, you really don't get that much of anything, or you don't really get as good as audio as if it were pointed up at your face. So I just realized that as I was doing that, you may not have been able to hear what I was saying, but in any case, when It's beneath your shirt. When you move around, your clothes will rustle against it, and you'll get a lot of interference. When it's in your lap or pointing away, you get a lot of interference. You don't hear as much. So, if you're not going to have your lav mic attached to your collar, you may as well not be wearing one at all. Back to the Rode mic. A mistake that I see a lot of people making is they buy one of these that attaches to the top of your camera, and then they shoot, like, for example, you doing a presentation on stage and they're not really near you. Some of the more powerful ones can do it, like they have a $300, $400 Rode VideoMic Pro that could pick up a good amount of what you're talking if you're using a good microphone. But by microphone, I don't mean like one of these or these. I mean like you're speaking into a mic that's up on stage with you. But for the most part, these are only good if you're going to be within, let's say, a speaking distance within a person. Otherwise, it really doesn't pick it up that well. It's better than if you don't use any one at all, but if you're trying to get the crispest audio, the most crisp audio that you can, you really want to try to have a lav mic on them. But then these are really good in the field. Like if you're following someone around, if someone's following you around, let's say you're an attorney or you're a doctor and someone's following you around your office as you're talking about things, these are really handy.